Good morning, my worldwide family. Happy Tuesday. Man, look, you know it's more to life than what it is. You know it's more to life, to your life, than what you see. You look on TV, like you watch basketball, you watch football, baseball, all these different sports on TV. You know, these athletes. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's more to your life than what you're seeing. And you know that. You look around, you're not on a material tip, but, these nice cars, like, you see people driving in, you go to certain neighborhoods, these nice castle-like looking houses, from the lawyers, the doctors, judges, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, they're not any more special than you are. You know what I'm saying? The only difference is exposure. They was exposed to some things, that was life changing. Whether it was their parents that that figured it out, and it it passed on to generation, not just money, but the ethic, you know what I'm saying, the information that a lot of us lack that keeps us in poverty. And even when we get out the hood, we still have that poverty mindset. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, what I'm saying is, it's much more to your life, and you know it is. And so it leads me to ask, what seeds are you sowing? Right? So I look back at my seeds, all the seeds that I've sown, it wasn't in God. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't godly. So guess what? That harvest, all them joints died. All of them are dead. So now the only seeds that I'm sowing now that's positive is in my marriage, which, man, I need a home improvement on that, you know what I'm saying, for sure. Because it's like, what benefit to my family is it if I'm not sowing seeds in my relationship with Christ? Period. Because I ain't good enough. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Just me myself, I'm not good enough. If I'm not, especially if I'm not sowing the right seeds. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, in my faith walk in Christ, how can I learn how to be the head that I'm supposed to be? How am I going to be the example that I'm supposed to be? How am I supposed to lead my family into the future and cultivate them as I'm supposed to? And how am I going to shepherd them into their calling? If I'm not sowing seeds in Christ, and I don't know what that future look like. So where am I leading them to? You know what I'm saying? So what good am I to them if I'm not doing that? You know what I'm saying? Like, what good am I to them if I'm not sowing the right seeds financially? Like, yeah, I have a okay paying job. I can't complain. But what's going to happen when life emergency hit and I don't have the money for it, because I don't have I don't have financial stability. I'm not sowing the right seeds that'll provide me with financial stability. Or when it come down to traditions and a legacy where it's like, memorable moments, going to see places, time spent with the family, and being able to do that, if I'm not sowing the right seeds that'll provide me with financial stability, not stability, but security. Like, I mean, what good am I to them? You know what I'm saying? So again, I ask, what seeds are you sowing? Because, like, I'm from the hood, right? I was born and partially raised in Oak Cliff. I lived in West Dallas. I lived in South Dallas. I lived in East Dallas, Fort East Dallas, which, kind of like borderline Pleasant Grove is what we call it. And that became home. It became home to me. You know, I've lived in Houston. I lived in California. You know, and granted, all those places that I lived, you know, I was young in some of those places. You know, but then too, it was, you know, I had gotten older, so I knew. So, but of course, I didn't know anything about seeds and sowing of the seeds and all that, like, you know, until I was, you know, recently exposed to it. Which, you know, I'm not going to talk about, you know, the exposure and the friend and your circle and everything. That's going to be over the next 2 days. But, you know, it's just, it's a trip. Like, when it comes down to exposure, if you don't know, then how can you expect anything different than what you see? But even when I got older, like, you know, I didn't know everything I did. Like, everything we do, we sowing seeds. You know what I'm saying? It's good seeds and bad seeds, if you will. You know, so, you know, all my seeds, they died. You know what I'm saying? So it's like now, so, you know, considering that's what it was in the past, how can I expect my life now to be much, much better than what it is? If I wasn't sowing the right seeds that was going to lay the foundation for my future. You know, so it's like now I have to make sure that I sow the right seeds, you know, that'll be my foundation, you know, starting with my faith and my relationship with Christ, because he's my foundation. You know, if I'm not sowing the right seeds that's going to, you know, lay my foundation and where I can build on it and grow from there, then what next year is going to look like. You know, I mean, it's just the sowing of the seeds. So, you know, like I said, like, you know, it's much more to life. You know, it's much more to life than what you see. You know, like, you think everybody else that's, you know, living their best life or whatever, what they call it, and all these things, like, do you think they special and you're not? You know, only difference is they started sowing seeds and making it happen. You know what I'm saying? So you have to do the same too. I have to do the same too. Understand, it's not about the money. You know what I'm saying? Because it's the love of money is the root of all evil. Money itself isn't evil. You know, so but money it's not everything. You know, granted, we need it to provide and survive and everything, but it's not everything, because, you know, you can have all the money in the world, but you still empty. You can have all the money in the world, but you still stressed and depressed. You can have all the money in the world, but you still lonely and you still lost. You still going through pain. Like, that don't mean nothing. Like, it's not about the money, you know, but we do need it. You know what I'm saying? So when I say sowing seeds, I'm not just talking about the financial department. You know, because we're not supposed to be, especially us as believers, we're supposed to be lenders, you know, not borrowers. You know, so when I say it's much more to life, and you know that, it's because you see a lot of people living it. You know what I'm saying? They no special than you are. You know what I'm saying? Like so it's time to refocus, like, and start doing things outside of what we know. You know what I'm saying? What the hood taught us. You know what I'm saying? Like, what our parents taught us. Like, we have to start doing things differently. You know, like, and exposure is everything. And, you know, your friends in your circle, that's everything too, because, like, we're going to, excuse me, we're going to get into that. But not now. You know what I'm saying? So it's time to start doing things differently, because you know, we have to get out of where we are, period. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love the hood, but I can't stand the hood. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, because of what I went through, that's pretty much my calling, is to go back to the hood and you know, and breathe life into the youth. You know what I'm saying? Me as a husband, to breathe life into, you know, husbands and men. You know, so and I'm figuring it out. So we're going to figure it out together, because I don't have all the answers. All right. So, you know, so that's where my love with the hood is at. So let's sow them seeds. Let's make it happen.